All right, ladies and gents, welcome. We've got a big round two best of 5 here in Hidden Cup 5 qualies. And both of these players, I feel, fall into the same category. They're both that next-gen style, the very aggressive style, who have yet to have like top 16 runs in the game and wish to make it into Hidden Cup and be, you know, one of the biggest names fighting for the biggest prize pool, and of course be playing under a hero pseudonym. By the way, later on today, and certainly by now at this point, if you're watching later on YouTube, I will have revealed some heroes. Now, we've got Mihai. He's named himself Kingslayer here. In Titans League, he ran his king into a castle and lost the game because of it, which is actually rather important because every game matters in Titans League. And then he also many months later in the NAC qualifiers, killed MBL's king with his scout. Now, there's no kings in Hidden Cup, but I think it's kind of funny he's named himself Kingslayer here. He's playing as the Georgians. And the blue, we've got Overtaken. Overtaken is a player who first gained recognition from me and I think many others in a Hidden Cup qualifier. Now, I believe it was actually Hidden Cup 3. Now, back then, he was insanely aggressive. He didn't really have the best economic approach. These days, he can kind of do it all. I remember a game where it was all in plumed archers. Someone please fact check me here, because I think it was plumes. So it's definitely Mayans on cross from Overtaken. I believe he was up against Dark. And I forget what Civ Dark was, honestly. Dark was maybe Japanese or Lithuanians. Someone look that up for me. It would make me very happy. But anyways, he's over here playing as the Bohemians. So, this is the updated version of Gold Rush. So we've made a change last night. We're always trying to look to make sure things are balanced. And we felt like sometimes the gens weren't so fair. And it's actually really hard to get the scripting right. But finally, unlike our third or fourth version, I ran through a lot of testing last night. And I feel this is in a really good spot. So I can tell it's a new version because we also have like the terrain change with the grass and the sand, which indicates to me it is. Basically, it is a lot more sure of a thing that you're going to have like your berries and your gold protected. This map is meant to be a bit more wallable. And then eventually, of course, players are going to go towards the middle. Now, as a slight consequence of what we have made, of the change we have made, the players are slightly closer to the elevation in the middle where the gold is. So I do actually think in some ways that will change the timings on when they go to the middle. But I think that's fine for me. That's what Gold Rush is about. What I didn't want is someone who has like, you know, berries on the other side of a wood line. Both their gold's exposed and then the other one does not. We need the level to be a bit closer. People are asking for their elo right now. Yeah, is that still helpful at this round? Do you guys think? I could do it. I'm leaning towards no. They're both around 2k5, I'm sure. They're both around 2k5. They're both really good. But I could still do it. I guess it's not going to hurt. Could I have someone do hashtag match in chat? I can get their current elo. Putting in the seed, I think, adds even less information for a casual. I think elo is actually the biggest thing. To Mihai 2k6, Overtaken 2k4. See, I had it wrong. So, actually, that's good. We can add it in. Now, I've spoken to some multiple players, actually, who have played some games against Overtaken. There's lots of games behind the scenes happening, and Overtaken's been playing insane. But Mihai has had a really solid year. He was pretty close to qualifying for NAC 5, and he'd love to qualify here for Hidden Cup. I do think Mihai is the favorite. Yeah, I think adding the elo is good. I think it actually adds perspective for people who don't know them, right? For people who come in here and they're just a low elo legend showing up. They heard me say in YouTube Hidden Cup. They're like, all right, let's figure this out. Let's see. Let's give T90 a chance. See what it's like. Now they have a little bit more perspective on their rank. We're not going to have this. I probably will not have this in the third round, though. Just FYI. When it gets to that stage, probably won't have it. Scout from Mihai runs underneath the TC here. And I don't think that was intentional. But maybe it was. Maybe he was trying to steal some goats. He does lose HP on that. He's going to go for scouts at home. So we've got an archer opening here for Overtaken. Now, there's a very big reason why we don't see a lot of militia or archer openings on this map. That is the wolves. Another slight adjustment we made to the wolves is we spread them out a bit more, so they're not as clumped. There's still, there's still going to be that opening through the middle. So if players think about that and recognize that, they can go through the middle. But actually, Mihai is going to run into these two wolves here. And these wolves are part of the original Gold Rush script. Just had lots of wolves across the middle. There's actually even more than we have here. It is definitely a bit of a nuisance. But walls are coming up here from the Kingslayer. No bid axe, which is a bit interesting. We'll see if he gets that. But yeah, walls are coming down. He knows his opponent's going archers because he just saw the range. This will not come as a surprise to him. And Overtaken's running out across the map right now, game 1. For reference, what elo the very top players? 2K6 to 2K8. So Mihai's up there. Like, Mihai is one of the top ranked players on the ladder right now, if he's above 2K6. So I really am not a big fan of Overtaken's opening here, but his civilization is infantry archer civ. So it just, so far you can tell he's kind of struggled to find the damage he would have wanted with these units. And there's actually a bit of an overchop there from Overtaken, and he gets the quick walls down. That could have been brutal. And he's going to have to take care of this wolf with the TC fire and then get this spearman over here to protect. But, the fact you've had the small wall resources when the opponent has just gone for a full wall, there's a pretty big difference there. But, the Georgians picked mainly due to their unique unit. I think they've got solid options otherwise, but the unique unit's insanely strong. The Manaspa. The Bohemians do a lot of bonus damage with their spear line against Cav, and Manaspa is Cav. So I think that's kind of the thinking here. Again, another quick wall here for Overtaken. I mean, it could have been much worse for him here to start. His eco is actually pretty solid behind it. Game will still definitely go to Castle Age. I think the second that he sees the first skirmisher, he's going to have to back away with his tiny army. And he's pulling villagers over here to wall up. He would have lots of stone in his walls, and he'd have 3 tiles of his gold. The 4-tile gold is out here, and then for Mihai, the 3-tile gold is out here. Sorry, guys, just woke up, and I really want to make sure I have my voice. I'm going to be streaming pretty much every day for the next 2 weeks with very little breaks, so I want to make sure that I'm drinking water from time to time, so... But yeah, good walls from Overtaken, gets the walls down. Didn't under or overmake army here, I would say. The only kill, or the only death for Overtaken was that archer that Mihai sniped. And Mihai going to move forward with the skirms now. He'll re-wall this, I'm sure. And things are looking pretty good for him. Res collected is close. Would probably be further ahead here if he got double bid axe. Like, double bid axe is a pretty good upgrade. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, well, the farms are great. They'll last longer with horsepower. That's good, but it doesn't affect the rate at which you're bringing in resources. Having bid axe is probably just something... Like, he thinks he probably has double bid axe at the moment. You can see easily players coming out here to TC, coming out here to TC in the next stage, right? Wolves on this side being a nuisance. And that house is not going to be enough to keep these units out. This is extremely annoying if you're Overtaken. He's not going to lose villagers quickly to skirms, but this is nice pressure here from Mihai. I think Mihai's going to end up turning around, though, because Overtaken's done a nice job. He'll pull back the weak vills, and now he could start to pressure the walls, and he could start to pressure with a unit that Mihai really hasn't been able to see out in the field too much right now. He's going to want to see these archers and kill them. I swear I'm not sick. It's just like, for whatever reason, because I just woke up, my voice box isn't ready yet. All right. Covacino says, who sleeps until late afternoon? Well, first off, a lot of people. Second, bold of you to assume it's late afternoon for me. It is not late afternoon for me. But if you sleep till late afternoon, smile in chat. And respect. I'm a little jealous. Fletching's in now. And so any villagers that come out here to place some houses could be in jeopardy. Especially because they'll be running away. They'll be at the bottom of a hill. I think these archers would be treated as on the hill because they're standing on some of that elevation there. Obviously, army coming right back for Mihai. No fletching for the skirms. He is getting forging for his scouts. So he may just use these skirms to clear out the spears more than anything. And they have similar uptimes, but Mihai didn't have to use the market to accomplish this. Which is a big deal because his eco is going to be in an amazing spot to boom. But he's definitely going to get to the next stage. He's going to go to his mule cart. He's going to click double bit X and realize, oh shoot, I didn't have that. He's going to hope he's getting bow saw at that point. Very relatable. And I think the late game for the Bohemians can be really solid against the Georgians, but I think the mid-game position will be awkward for Overtaken if he loses a lot of his ranged units. He definitely doesn't want to lose half his archers here, as he's getting crossbow and he's getting bodkin right now. But I think in the end, he's going to end up getting away. The lack of upgrades there for Mihai was a problem. And the starting scout and a couple of the spears, they did a good job for Overtaken to just kind of keep him... He always had just enough to keep Mihai from engaging. Here come the villagers. We have a knight behind this from Overtaken. Bohemian knights are not very strong, but a knight is great against scouts and skirms. I like how he's not really investing much more into that. He'll probably just make 2 knights and leave it at that. And this allows his crossbows to do some damage. This is risky to come out here at this time. And I think Overtaken, he caught a glimpse of the scouts and knows they could be coming. And he's going to play it safe. And that should be enough just to be able to get the TC up. And now the crossbows are here on this side. And this could easily lead to some dead villagers to deny this TC. And Mihai, oh man, he loses 2 villagers. What an annoying little situation here. It looked like he was going to be in such a good spot here to start off this game. But Overtaken has overtaken him with the vill count. And nice pressure there too. Beautiful job. 2 villagers killed. Here, great defense. And Mihai will back away. Now, it's going to be just knights right now for one of the best knight civs in the game. Everyone wants to talk about the Manaspa, but the Georgian knights, all their cav, they do regenerate over time. But you got to keep these scouts alive, because if you lose the scouts, then you can't kill the monks that Overtaken's going to end up making. So good job from Mihai to back away there. But he lost another villager here, and this crossbow timing has been so brutal here to Mihai so far. Both players lacking some eco upgrades, but we'll see what they end up doing here. Overtaken's got to love his life. He's killed 4 villagers now. It's like he moves forward, he kills a vill. It's amazing how quickly he finds it. It seems like he's a little bit faster than Mihai right now. And Mihai also building a TC towards the middle at the moment. But, oh man, he wants to drop a fortified church. Now, you can garrison in this, and it shoots arrows. Honestly, it doesn't shoot that many arrows, but it's enough that I think that combined with any army that could come in is going to... It's not going to be a comfortable position for Overtaken to move into. And I think eventually we're going to have a full clear here for Mihai. He's got this big army, but he hasn't been able to get the army count here in time, I think. And crossbows should recognize they're going to die and get as much value as possible. If you get, like, kills on all the scouts, it's going to be great. But honestly, nice fight here for Mihai. Mihai will still have plenty of scouts remaining to kill some monks. Knights for Overtaken just run away, which is pretty smart. Vill count 55 for Overtaken. It is 47 right now for Mihai. We've got villagers on stone already for Overtaken. So he's thinking about a castle towards the middle, but now he needs to defend. And those monks become the most important thing now, and he's going to go for pikemen as well. But I mean, 2 pikemen, 2 monks, that is not enough against what's out here right now. So things could be awkward for him. He's got to be very careful. The level's so good, dude. Like, you can just tell. You can tell this is the next caliber of player. These are the players that won the first round fairly easily. The reaction time's pretty solid. Everything's pretty smooth. This is a good move, though, here. I don't think this is something that Overtaken was expecting. He's going to have to get a building down here. He is going to just drop a market there. He is actually also going to get this relic. Walked right past another relic. Too bad you can't, like, hold one in each hand. And here come the Vils already? Oh, my God. This castle timing's insane. Now, he's using the market a lot. But this is pretty crazy. Pikeman upgrade was actually canceled, by the way. This monk could be sniped. This is what Mihai's looking for. Mihai's thinking he's going to have monks, and only monks in defense. Gets the snipe. Beautiful play. But there is a castle going up in the middle, and you can have so much gold saturation there. And I think if Mihai doesn't know about it, it could even lead to some problems if, like, wagons come out, for example. Wagons out of this, combined with some pikes, combined with some monks. I saw a game from Bad Koala against FedEx in the first round, and it was very similar where it was actually with Saracens, but they took the middle super early, and it just became really annoying, really awkward for the opponent to know what to do then. You can still take all this gold, but it just feels like this player has the position to hit you all the time, and they just always have the better position. Well played from both so far. Res collected, higher for Overtaken, but the food eco for Mihai is ridiculous. And also, these fortified churches increase work rate of the surrounding area. So you have to think those farmers are working like crazy right now with wheelbarrow in 2. No horse color at all for Overtaken. And I think he doesn't want just one castle. I think he wants another castle here. Finally commits to the pikeman upgrade, but these villagers here, I mean, look, we're going to have a barracks. I think we're going to have a castle on the gold. He might fully deny some of the middle gold here from his opponent. Now, we got monks around. We have siege as well right now for Mihai, because that's good against the wagons. But is he ready yet to counter this timing? This is absolutely insane. Okay, so Overtaken didn't know about the siege, and Overtaken actually backing up with the castle. And you can tell Mihai's like, well, then I don't need to build my castle. So that's a safe castle for Overtaken. Mihai's still trying to attack Overtaken here. He's forcing a lot of reactions, which is good. If he had the army here, though, I think he could, potentially do a little bit more in defense. In the end, feels like this game could go to Imp. Army production is stalled for both of them. They're selling resources. And I think Overtaken feels... if I just go Imp with 2 castles and get to Trebs, that's my way of denying this gold. I actually got Bodkin Arrow too, which does deny a lot of that gold. Still Mihai trying to break through here. I like it if you don't think that army can be useful here. Look at the market usage here from Overtaken. Crazy, but yeah, I like it. Like, I was talking recently to someone who's like getting back into the game, watching my videos and whatnot. And they were like, I mentioned the Bohemian market's insane. And they were like, I didn't know the Bohemians had a market bonus. And I explained, well, actually, they don't really have a market bonus. It's just that they mine gold and stone so quickly with the free mining upgrades that you end up using the market a lot with that. And like, guys, Mihai's up, but he's got 1 castle. Overtaken's going to have 2, and Overtaken will absolutely tread this down. There's no doubt in my mind. And then there will not be much protection at all for any of this gold here for Mihai. Overtaken definitely needs to engage. Like, this is the time to maybe come back and engage against this. And both these names so good, man. Like, this is the series. There were 4 sets in round 2 that I were really excited for. 2 I'm actually casting today. I mean, okay, let me take that back. They're all going to be great. But I said the best sets I thought would be this series, Daniel Slam, which we will be casting later today. Bad Koala freaking Andy. It could just be horrible, but I really feel like stylistically that's a fun one. And oh man, the pikeman actually going for the siege over here. Not protecting the monks. It doesn't matter. Overtaken gets 2 knight conversions there and saves the monks. Still does need to protect his villagers here though. But if he kills the siege, maybe his wagons can accomplish more, so this could still be good for him. His wagons are going to dive. They're going to shoot the mangonel. We're going to have the pikes getting the hits as well. I don't know, man. Wagons still get flattened right now by these mangoes, so I think that fight's actually really good for Mihai. I think that fight ended up being really good. This situation here also ended up being really, really good for him. Because that's like 20 or so villagers not building. But okay, now Imp is in for the opponent. Now Overtaken's resources aren't great, like we've established. His food eco is not there. He needs to continually be taking good fights. He's making trebs now. He's going to have monks. He's going to have wagons. He's going to have random pikes. And the opponent's going to have Manaspa out of 1 castle for now, soon to be 2, but then it's going to be back down to 1 castle. Overtaken has to fall back to his castles here with these tanky but awkward wagons. Is going wagons a throw? I don't think so. He doesn't have a lot of food eco. Obviously, in this magic world, in this magic fairyland world, you could have Halb, you could have monk upgrades, you could have elite wagon, you know, but you can only work with so much. I think this unit gives you a lot of potential, but with like low numbers. So I think he's not going to commit to these long term. He's going to commit to Halb, and now he's dropping the second barracks. Yeah, Halb and monk is definitely the play here. So I really like what he did. I really like the Bodcanero choice, actually. These castles, now 5 kills. I also like the patience to drop this castle, but Mihai's economy is absolutely ridiculous. He's taking stone on the outside. He still has this gold. He has to remember that. It's easy to forget about it, and he even has a TC over here. That's crazy. He's booming. He's farming on the side of the base, and man, if he gets in, Overtaken is going to be ripped to shreds, and that's like what Mihai's hoping for. How many times do I say it when I'm like coaching or casting Low Elo Legends, right? It's like sometimes you got to go to your opponent's base to take them away from a position you don't want them in right now. And that's kind of what we're seeing. Big deal here. Overtaken does not have stone being mined. He's completely mined out of his stone. At least his safe stone. I don't know if he has another one around that I'm missing. This might be it. I don't know. I just know that Mihai is on stone everywhere. And also the Georgians... A big bonus I should have mentioned. They also, and I love the exact data on this because the Civ's still kind of new and I forget the details. But I believe that if they have a castle on a hill, they receive less bonus damage, right? Like, they definitely receive less damage from trebs or something. And I forget the specifics around it, but you can definitely see it paying off here. And here come the crossbows. Here come the halbs. These Manaspa need to get out of here. Imagine they're both distracted here, though, because they both lost the castle. 25% less damage on a hill. Okay, that's notable. That's huge. But, oh no, Mihai! Mihai lost all of his Manaspa. That's horrible. Because it's already going to be tricky for him to fight these halbs and monks. That did not help. Now, he's not switching into anything. The Georgians do get hand cannon. So I think the chemistry upgrade will probably see ranges then too. But I'm starting to see his farm starting to expire. He doesn't exactly have the wood. And man, is he under pressure right now. And I think Overtaken drafted Bohemians first, which is crazy, because he thought he was going to be up against Georgians here. We've seen Georgians win against Tato in the first round with the Manaspa. I think if you go for a strong camel or a strong halb civilization with good bonuses elsewhere, you can take care of this civ, as strong as this civ is. And Overtaken has the monks prepared. How are his clicks here to start off the series? He's going to get a few conversions. He's diving underneath the castle with some wagons. Desperation move here from Mihai to kill the trebs. Because he knows he has to kill these trebs. Otherwise, he could be dead. He could be without gold. And he's still repairing. He's still sinking all these resources into the repairs. But he is not going to be able to hold this. And you know the crazy thing, guys. The thing that should really blow you away. It's not this push. Look at the amount on food for Overtaken. How? He had like 20 on food. This whole time, he goes, oh, my food eco's not there. I got to fix that. He goes up to 45 farms. That's absolutely insane. Because there's so many reasons to just still focus here and pressure. And sure, yeah, no horse collar. Doesn't matter. 40 farmers is 40 farmers. And he just continues to plunk away here. Kind of funny. The mule carts, which is, you know, the resource drop-off building here. They're just all over the place here for Mihai. And he is going for hand cannons. He's still actually able to hold this. But, oh, this is interesting. He's dropping a castle on the side to make things incredibly awkward here for Overtaken. I like that. Also, still taking gold over here. Overtaken He doesn't have vision on that, and I think right now he thinks that Mihai has no gold. This is huge. What a fun game. Definitely a situation where you would have wanted to have outposts around, because obviously if he knew that, he could just have units there. And now he's going to shift his trebs over this way to take this castle. But this gives Mihai time. 3 ranges for hand cannons. Chemistry was never researched for Overtaken. Now is actually where I would like to see, as this monk is going to run into the castle, I would actually like to see more wagons now. Obviously, your own hand cannons would be fantastic if you're Overtaken. But I think the wagons are tanky enough against the hand cannons where they could be really helpful for the time being. And castle goes down. I still don't consider that a waste of stone, though. It did give lots of time to breathe there to Mihai. Guys, if Overtaken loses this game, this right here, 20 villagers on gold, taking gold freely. That could be it. Such a close one, though. Such a good game right now. Bracers on the way. Ranges are coming up for Overtaken. He's going to probably treb down this TC. Halbs are not going to be good against these hand cannons. And what a close game. Obviously, in the first rounds, we had more sets that were close than expected. And these wagons are so good against hand cannons, like I said. You know, so it makes sense that a lot of the Gold Rush games weren't, like, super crazy competitive. Now that we're in the second round, I mean, this one could go late. And what I love about this version of Gold Rush is both players can conceivably have gold. This gold tier, I know this gold he's kind of, like, getting away with. But this gold tier, still very realistic if a player can hold. He just makes a mill here, so these farmers still work. I like it. Outpost over here from Mihai. You can tell he's going to think... He's looking for vulnerabilities. He's looking for areas he can raid. And now Arbalest from Overtaken checking this. And he will be kicking himself, but I mean, at least he can potentially kill that. And yeah, he realizes. You could tell, I think he set waypoints to go into the corner, but now realizes the villagers are there. Also, 2 Manaspa ran through. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how they got through. But those Manaspa could win the game for Mihai if they're not spotted. There's a lot of focus on the front where we have Arbalest for Overtaken with the Halbs and with the Trebs. And Arbalest is the perfect choice against the hand cannons. Oh, that's huge. I do not know how they got through there. There must be a gap. I think they ran through the gate when it opens because villagers were headed forward. This is insane. I mean, Overtaken's looking at the main push. I'll keep you updated. This is insane. If this wasn't happening, I think Mihai is dead. Okay, did Overtaken realize, or is he out of wood, or what? He did realize. Big fight here. The villagers are all off of gold here. They've actually shifted over here with the mule cart. That's very nice. But the castle falls for Mihai. And now Mihai could lose his main base. And this is terrible for him. This is still really good for him, though. He's killing many villagers. But Overtaken's eco, Overtaken's, I think his army composition is insane right now. Actually, I say his eco is insane. All of his farms are idle, so that is not true. It was insane before that raid. Also, we could have more side raids. We have stables on the side for Mihai. He's not done. Random raids on the side there could also give him opportunities. The way the game's designed with these mule carts is the units shouldn't prioritize the mule carts at all. But it does, you can kind of use them as a distraction. Villagers here are exposed for Mihai, so his farming eco being on the side kind of hurts him in some ways. It's really just Arbalest count right now. The Arb count needs to be like 30 or 40 right now for Overtaken to really snowball this. Again, I think wagons being in the mix can still be really strong. He's still got tons of gold. He's got 60 on gold right now, but he's starting to get raided on the side, and that's going to be a nightmare for him. I love the energy, though. He just says, well, I'll push anyways. I'll push anyways. I will try and deal with the, you know, put out those fires on the side of my base. But I'm just going to push the middle. And look at the amount of trebs that he's made. Maybe just because he's up against the Georgians. And here he comes. Good luck stopping this if you're Mihai. So many villagers exposed here. Like whatever raid was there got killed. And I came into this telling you guys it would be an insane series. But I also said the words that I think Overtaken is underrated. Because he's never streamed, right? He's never made a video. And I think he's been unlucky at times with his brackets in like Titans League, for example. Overtaken is solid. And he's come to play today. And I think for Mihai, he's fully recognizing that. And I do not know what he's supposed to do right now. He's got Elite Manaspa. It's the first time he's been able to get to Elite. So he's hoping these units will have the strength now. But the Halbs are always waiting. And yeah, you just pull back, put those Halbs in front. Sure, the hand cannons are there, but the Arbs are always there as well for the hand cannons. It kind of goes both ways. And one player has the gold, the other player does not. 75 on gold for Overtaken. Yeah, he just buys stone at this point for castles. Makes sense. 75 on stone. That's insane. This is a little worrying. Manaspa could be a little problematic here. They don't have as much attack as they could have. But okay. I mean, unit's still really, really strong. Overtaken, slightly worried. Did Treb down a lot. But loses most of his army. Okay. I would say... he's got to repair this now. I would say some bomber cannons to snipe these Trebs would be helpful. The big thing, actually, is just... I would castle here. So the raids on the sides don't do anything to me. Obviously, you probably don't want to castle right now if you need the stone for repairing the middle. Like, losing the middle would be disastrous. A couple houses here. That's smart. That is really smart thinking. Overtaken recognizes these Manaspa can dive. How does he have villagers on gold right now? Oh, okay. Mihai's just coming to the middle. Take more gold. But he can't push anymore with just 2 Trebs. He has to pack that up. He's still in it, though. He still hasn't been killed. Mihai's still alive. I think he really needs to... Well, actually, all the Trebs are stuck here. The Trebs... 4 Trebs stack on a hill against 2 Trebs. It's never going to be good for the 2 Trebs on the other side of things. Here are the raids. Yeah, this is where you need a castle, actually. Like, this can lose you the game over time. A castle here, though, pretty much puts an end to it. I think we'll see Overtaken consider that once he clears it. Little halberd here from him to get some kills. Who knows if he's even looking at it now. I think he's still looking at the middle. And I would really have liked to have seen the Elite Skirm upgrade here from Mihai. He doesn't have a lot of gold. His opponent hasn't made bombard cannons. Skirm against Halb and against Arbalest would feel really nice here. But also, it's like, Skirms aren't powerful enough to ever really push the middle. Overtaken. He has less on gold than he had before. He is dropping a castle next to 2 Trebs and immediately regrets it. He's still got 63 on gold, though. Can Mihai find a way? I love how he's just been rolling these mule carts around and getting some gold where he can. And the threat of the Manaspa, man. This is a unit that everyone says needs to be nerfed. And it just gets on top of the Arbalest. And I don't know how many Arbs died there, in all honesty. But it looked like a really good engagement there for Mihai initially. I think he killed like 20 Arbs. But the other thing about Overtaken's position right now is he's got production set. He's got production buildings in the middle. It's not like he's producing from home. And he feels like he can keep this castle up, which is pretty crazy. He's using his Trebs from this side to try and take out these Trebs. And Mihai actually no longer attacking the castle here. And he sacrifices a lot of his army to kill Trebs. There's just so many from Overtaken. It's crazy. And Overtaken's castles are going to stay up. And Overtaken still has gold. This wagon is shooting these villagers down slowly. And Overtaken's going to take this game. The Manaspa... I mean, Mihai has given himself a chance in so many different ways. I mean, the raids are still happening. For the love of God, it's actually bothering me. Build a castle here. Mihai has held on wonderfully. Like, he's given himself a really strong fight from a losing position. He's been in a losing position for so long now. But I think he's just going to be completely out of steam. And even this amount of gold, however much gold he's bringing in there, even if he continues to do that, I don't think it compares. It's not compared to what Overtaken has available at the moment. And Overtaken, maybe this is it. He's crazy. He doesn't care about the side of his base at all. He wants to have castles on every single gold area here on Gold Rush. And, okay, we'll place it further forward. All right. kind of funny. Places it, and then he can bring his trebs, and then he can go for this castle. And yeah, that will probably finish off Mihai here. Really high-level stuff here. It's such a fun series because they're so similar. Like, I know Mihai has islands as his home map. I think there they might not be as similar. I've seen Mihai play islands. He plays water maps really nicely. I haven't seen Overtaken play a lot of water maps. But Overtaken, he will take the first game here. And still raids coming in. I think this is part of what's giving Mihai hope, because he's killed quite a few villagers with these raids. But I mean, pretty soon he will have no eco down here. Is going for skirm, right? Against arbs and against halbs, skirm makes sense. But now you can't push the castles. And as we've seen many times with these Bohemians, man, you just mix in the wagons, and the wagons are so tanky that the skirms are not going to, or the hand cannons won't contribute too much. All right, if you can guess the exact gold count that Overtaken will have in the bank when this game ends, if someone can guess the exact amount, I will do absolutely nothing. But it'll be really cool. So, you know, go ahead. Make your guesses. Keep in mind, he will be refunded for what's in the queue right now. Actually, no, if he's winning, he won't be. Actually, I take that back. I think only the resigned players get refunded. Here we go. Did anyone say 74.59? Because the answer was 74.59. We had some people close. Great game from Overtaken. He takes the first win, but Mihai's going to be back. Crazy, crazy stuff. Now, I feel like the notable thing here, and I don't know if this is meta or what, but like, Overtaken used the market a ton, and he castled the middle extremely early compared to most games. And his food and wood eco was not great. That's probably got to be reflected here, right? Yeah, like his food eco was not great. But he said, I don't really need that much food eco, actually. I just need wood, I just need gold, and I can kind of buy anything else that I need. He got to halbs in front of the Manaspa. He got to the trebs really early. Really nice game there from Overtaken. I love the patience in this game when he went to drop the very forward castle. So he initially castled here, right? And then he wanted to castle here. But then he realized that's too risky and backed up and immediately went to imp. A lot of players, like myself included in this, if my plan is to castle here and I'm not thinking about imp, I freaking try and force the castle down here. And then it might get denied. And then, you know, you just lose the game there. So he backed up. He's like, you know what? I have the hill. I can just go to imp. Beautiful game. And yeah, really like the updated version of Gold Rush we worked on here. It was very fair for the start. Wow, what a fun matchup. This might be the first time that I've seen Vikings pick in the entire qualifier so far. Does make sense, right? We've got Islands, which is a heavy water map. And Vikings are probably in their best shape on water these days. Vikings, a civilization that cannot make fire galleys. This civilization is going to have to make galleys. Now, you could also make longboats later or maybe demos. But in terms of feudal age, which is typically what you see, I think galleys is going to have to be the play for Overtaken. Kingslayer over here, or Mihai. Mihai, who needs to tie it up here, has gone for the Italians. I really like the flexibility and whatnot from the Italians. Cheaper fishing ships, cheaper up to each age, cheaper dock techs. It feels so good. And then you have fires against a civilization that doesn't have their own fires. I think that can be good, too. Now, key changes we made to older versions of islands. The main one is, obviously, we did wood balancing, so we made sure that the amount of wood on each island is pretty much the same. But we also added more incentive to the middle of the map, because islands, when the level is really close, can go on for some time, and it can turn into a situation where players start to run out of resources. And in the past, it would just be one relic in the neutral island, and then it would be 3 relics against 2, and a little bit of extra gold income is not enough to swing late game, and it can come down to some other aspects. Wow, Mihai actually using his scout here to bring in the boar, and the boar says no. Don't lose. Oh! Save it! Oh my god, I mean, he does the house trick there. But not only did he almost lose the scout, I think he was one more hit away from losing his scout there. He almost lost his freaking villager. Man, that was freaking me out. Anyways, to complete my point, forgive me for expecting that players are not going to lose scouts or villagers here during my intro, but we added 4 relics in total to the middle. So we have seen, there's one game I remember where it did go late, and the player was losing their Fetorias as Portuguese, because Portuguese are so, like, crazy in the late game with the Feitoria building. But they brought in 5,000 more golds because they ended up getting these relics. And these relics always seem to swing it. There's other factors, of course, but yeah. And, you know, the positioning of the neutral islands are very, very understood. It's always between the players' bases. Because if the neutral islands were, I don't know, over here, someone might assume that is where the opponent's island is and bury some villagers over there. So, which I did in 2015. It was a great time. Why? Who would do that? I don't know. I don't know. And that was before I was even a content-minded individual. I was trying to be competitive, I swear. So, back dock here from Mihai. This is a big deal. So, I think one of the best strategies that I've seen in the past is like back dock, keep your fish safe. You'll eventually lose them, but then you go fast castle. I really like that strategy with the Italians. I think in some ways, though, there might be some worry doing that against the Vikings because the Vikings can mass the galleys so quickly. You don't want to let the Vikings mass their galleys. Now, sorry, this needs to be updated. I said I would fix it. There we go. They're both going up for feudal builds here. And so I believe this will be galleys for both of them. So we'll see how the micro is. Micro will have to be top tier. Probably another dock coming over here for Mihai. 4 fishing ships for him. It is 4 fishing ships for Overtaken as well. And there's the second dock. Villagers headed to gold. No surprise. Bit of a weird main gold spot. I like this mining camp. I know that it's not great for these tiles, but I actually think that's great. And double lumber camp. These guys are pretty much going for the same builds here. We've seen fire v galley. We've seen fast castle versus feudal. We've seen transports in the quali. Landings. Like a landing here would be epic. But no landings between these two. Lots of confidence in their water play. And it's going to be galleys. So Vikings get the wheelbarrow upgrade for free now in feudal. It's not the most helpful with the way these economies are going to play out. You're not really going to be farming for a long time, if at all. And they don't know where the opponent is, but you can find the neutral islands and let them guide you. That would be the way to do it. I think he's going back dock or side dock because he's concerned the Viking powers with the galleys, but also for a little bit of extra greed. Look at this. He actually goes galley, galley, and now is going to try and squeeze in 2 more fishing ships. And, I mean, a little bit of extra food can help you, especially when it's already cheaper for you to go up to the next stage. Look, he's going for the mill already. Notice no mill, very little on food here for Overtaken. Overtaken's going to go for the much bigger galley play, and Mihai is going to go more for the economic approach. And notice how Overtaken's confused now. He doesn't see the galleys. He sees his opponents in feudal. If Mihai can find the fish and kill some fish from Overtaken while his own fish are safe, this could be crazy. Not a good feeling if you're Overtaken right now. I think a lot more players are going to side dock and back dock. You might even be thinking, if you're Overtaken, my opponent's fast castle somehow, because they're Italians. But never mind, a fishing ship's been spotted. And now he knows. And now it's actually, whoa, it's 2 galleys from Mihai, and then it's fires? If anything, you'd think the order would be reversed. Anyways, he lost 1 fishing ship. We'll see if he loses the other. This is going to be a big galley mass for Overtaken over time. Fires do help defend. I actually don't mind that. Oh, no, his fishing ships blocked him. And his galleys have gone around behind. I would never assume my opponent had backdocked with the Vikings. Vikings, I am thinking it's going to be like 3 docks, forward, galleys all the time. With Italians, that's where, you know, there's some civs where I could see some more funky stuff. And yeah, this is actually just a nice little fast castle style build for Mihai. Pretty crazy, actually. And this was all part of his plan from the start, right? He balanced out his resources for it very nicely, but look at Overtaken. Attacking the fish here, pushing the issue here. I do not think Mihai is going to have any water control left when he makes it to the next stage if this continues. We'll see how Overtaken's micro is. But he has fletching now. And this has been awful for Mihai. This has been disastrous for Mihai. He still hasn't clicked up. He hasn't killed any fish. He hasn't found his opponent's docks. He lost the first game. And clearly the level is high here from Overtaken. To win 3 straight against the guy would not really be a possibility. He needs this one. Let's see how he can stall it out. Something that I think would do so many good things here for Mihai is a dock on the... Oh, okay. I swear I was going to say it, guys. I swear I was going to say it. So a dock on the front. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you're going to lose your fish now. And the opponent who's dominating water is going to have this comfortable feeling of, ooh, I can add fishing ships, right? But while it sucks with the Italians, while your eco's not great, you know, to not have any fish at this point, I think your dock techs are still cheaper. And the second you end up getting the upgraded fires, as long as you can, you know, get a couple fires here without being tracked, you're going to kill all those fish. So, you know, these fires are being saved. We got more fires in here. Overtaken was really scared to push much further. And I think once the War Galley upgrade comes in, it is going to be nightmarish for Overtaken to have to micro this stuff down. This is rough. Another dock for Overtaken. Overtaken's going to click up. Did sell 100 stone. No stone sold at all for Mihai, so obviously he still can boom pretty easily once he gets there. Speaking of booms, here we go. Could be a big boom. A little demo on the way. Castle Age is in. Overtaken has to defend for 2 minutes from upgraded fires with just galleys. This is where fires feel very strong. So I've heard some chatter. I've seen some Twitch chatters. I've seen some YouTube commenters. I've heard some casters talk about what they think's best. And I think there's this... A lot of people have a strong feeling on what's better. Galleys or fires. But I have not seen anyone say it depends. And I really think people are going to have to get used to hearing that from me. Because it really does. Galleys have dominated the fires now. But now the fires in Castle Age become insanely strong. So the fact that no one says depends tells me that I haven't done my job. And I think we're going to see two polar opposites, right? KD for Overtaken was just incredible. Now these fires are coming in. And now this, again, it is not fun to deal with this for the next 20 minutes. And here, or 20 minutes, wow. You know, a minute. But these fires have to make it here before these get upgraded, because then suddenly War Galley is a little bit different. So it's back and forth. There's ebb and flow to it. I like it. I think it's not actually even about fish at this point if you're Overtaken. It's just your War Galley mass. The War Galley mass is the most important thing. And there's actually a War Galley there. It says a leftover galley from earlier for Mihai. Keep in mind behind this, Mihai on the second TC. These fires are looking pretty strong. Yep, great engagements for the fires. Finding lots of kills. War Galley's on the way. Bodkin's not. And the regrouping of the galleys is not great. But the fire ship going to go down. That's the only fire ship remaining. Meanwhile, over here, we have a nice kill here from Mihai. And Mihai, he's okay. He's okay. He's got 6 fires. We're going to see the War Galley upgrade. No Bodkin arrow yet for Overtaken. I'm going to assume that he believes he has that. Unless he clicks it now. That's worrying. You might not realize. Yeah, he definitely wants that upgrade. It's going to be longboats and War Galleys. Obviously, he comes right back over here to the docks. TC number 3 now for Mihai. Resources collected higher for Overtaken, but Italians, they save so much on things. This could be really good. And then the galleys have to be massed in one spot. The fires can split up. And this is where those fires could really do some damage. Overtaken getting Bodkin now. Okay. Here we go. I would compare War Galley and fires to like knights and archers, right? Archers need to be massed. Knights can raid you. But on water, you can't like quick wall out a knight or convert the knight. The Knight of the Sea, the War Galley. Sorry, it's just a little bit of a stretch, but you get what I'm saying, I hope. Now, I think the longboats do better against fires, so I really like the inclusion there. And then you also still have the demos. Economically, game is very close here, guys. KD's very close as well. Look at that, 22 to 21. Impressive. What's the farm count like? 6 farms here. We've got 18 farms with horse collar for Mihai. I think it is really hard to say who's winning at the moment. Certainly on water, Overtaken's winning, but Overtaken needs to be using his water advantage. You need to be taking out docks. You need to be patrolling shorelines. If you're not doing that, that water advantage isn't really accomplishing too much for you. You also could use this time to get the relics, but I think there's going to be some resistance to that until you get your eco rolling a bit more. Fun game. Are demos like longswords then? What would a demo be? What's the land comparison for a demo? A petard? Petard would be the most accurate, but it's not accurate at the same time. Flaming camel. Ah, yeah, that's true. That's a good one. Well done, guys. Well done. Desert Arms, thanks for gifting yet another sub. Phantom, Captain, Ultimum, Jack MC, welcome back. Thank you, Alderico, as well. Appreciate the support. Still, this is technically kind of the start of week 2 of this qualifier. It will be insane. There will be games all the time. Believe me, it'll be entertaining. But we are a long way from the main event yet. Just a month away now. A little less than a month away. And on top of the streams, man, the work is insane right now. So I appreciate the support already. The amount of I'm getting right now, the amount of people here already gives me big hopes for the main event. So I said it before, I'll say it again. I do not like how all this Navy's been massed, and he's not taking out docks. I think he is concerned, he is scared because of the threat of the fires running into his eco, and he's not forcing the issue. But look at Mihai. Mihai shouldn't get away with this. Mihai's going to snag relics? I love it. But if he gets away with this, man, Overtaken's going to regret that in the late game. Italians are already going to be really tough to break. I think Overtaken's played amazing, but he doesn't see the importance of using his ranged units against the docks or the shoreline. Imagine, like, this gold can't be taken. This dock should be down. There could be so much. Now he's going to start to whittle down docks, but, I mean, this could have happened before. Mihai quickly, sneakily going to grab 2 relics from that island. Now, Overtaken's probably not paying attention to that. I also love how the scout is here just in case Overtaken shows up. That's wild. You see how fast the docks go down, though? This is what I mean. And this is a map where you need wood in the long run, right? You won't be able to chop some of your wood. You will then have to invest more wood into the docks because you've lost docks. And then the ships you make, surprise, surprise, also cost wood. It is very wood intensive. Another TC. Interesting choice. Relics are huge. Relics are just so important. Yep, dock will go down. Mihai will have just 1 dock remaining, if that. And Overtaken going to click up to the Imperial Age. Just needs to rush up to University, where he'll probably research ballistics then. And this, in theory, should have been the time where Overtaken had control of those center islands. For now, though, he's doing a good job with his Navy numbers. It's going to take a long time for Mihai to build up and get to the numbers of ships he needs to counter 20 longboats. what happens if transport is sunk with a relic inside. They make a documentary about it a couple 100 years later, and they upload it to Netflix. They somehow get 8 episodes on a relic that they found at the bottom of this ocean. Yeah. But no, seriously, if the monk is in the transport with... Monks, go for it. Don't get the second one. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Don't save your friends. No! What are you doing? Stupid men of faith. Well, it was worth the shot. Yeah, if you have a monk with a relic inside the transport and it goes down, it goes back to where you left land. So back where it was originally loaded. Now, that's always a confusing question for me because in the past, it used to go to the closest piece of land. And I remember that. That's like in my head. And I can't get it out of my freaking head. But I'm 97.1% certain it goes back to where you originally loaded it up. No, it didn't go back to the closest land. Yes, it did, T-West. Yes, it did. Don't go make a video on it because I know my brain's correct. It did in some setting, sometime, at some point. Community games or something. That's the MTC. Can you imagine? I don't know if he knew. Can someone tell me the cost of elite longboats? Whatever it is, I don't think you do that over heavy demo first. I think you need demos in front. That is a scary, scary sight right now if you're overtaken. Oh, man. War galleys are throwaway units at this point. Longboats are not. It is 4 relics for Mihai. We have a castle in the middle for Overtaken. Now, there's wood, there's golds here. That's useful. It's 750 food and 475 gold. All right, I take it back. You click that upgrade before heavy demo. I take it back. I thought it was more expensive. And he's getting it now. He's got too many of them not to fully upgrade them. Because there's no ranged upgrades for Mihai, his docks are getting shredded right now. His fire count's not that high. This is before chemistry, before elite longboat. My goodness, the Vikings. Taking me back, man. Dominating. And there's the heavy demo tech. Overtaken. His force will be significantly stronger. 1 or 2 demos ready to send in front of mass fires and then mass longboats would be amazing here. Mihai's kind of in trouble. He's trying to slowly surprise his opponent here. There's no demos yet. That's a lot of fast fires. Oh, man, where have they come from? The fast fires are here. You need a demo. You need a demo. Heavy demo comes in. Perfect timing, actually. And heavy demo will connect with some of the ships. You're still losing ships, right? You're still, like, it's a unit you can use once. It's perfect timing there from Overtaken to have that heavy demo tech in. And now he's got a Treb that he can use from the shoreline. But I still think it's going to be awkward. I think it'll be on the shoreline. You do not want fires to take it out. Now, the correct switch is coming in from Mihai, which is Galleon. So you go Fast Fire and Galleon. This is a nice find from him, assuming he engages, which he will. More villagers here now from Overtaken. Is he going to drop another? Wow. That's a crazy castle. That is a crazy, crazy bold castle. Overtaken's playing amazing. So I don't think... I know... I shouldn't say this. I shouldn't say this. I shouldn't pass along. Let me just say Overtaken is insanely confident and was insanely confident coming into this series. Level of confidence I didn't think the guy could have. And I'm going to have to verify I can share the quote because the quote's epic about Overtaken's feeling on his performance today and what it's going to be. But people, you know, you always got to be careful. People aren't going to share things with me unless I double check it's all good. But man, is he looking good. And now the Trebs are even being transported. Like such tiny details. So we can get the Trebs in the better position. It's directly underneath the castle now. This is so difficult for an engagement now for Mihai. But Mihai says, surprise, I've got Galleons now. And the heavy demos will be sniped by the Galleons. But the Galleons go down. Oh my god, heavy demo tech coming in clutch. And there's not really many fires here right now. And remember, if you lose this castle, you will then lose docks, which is production buildings for these ships. And obviously, you need that desperately here on islands. The numbers seem still higher for Overtaken. His 2 castles here have killed 11 ships. That has helped so much. And he's even gone for Bogzavagar now, which affects the longboats. That's relatively new. Nobody has water maps in their tournament, so we never get to see longboats getting the +1 attack on their on the ships. But, you know, on land, that applies to their archers. On water, that now applies to their ships. And Mihai is losing so much ground right now. Bob's vinegar is also what you can say, and what I should have said. I apologize. Bob, always very happy to share his vinegar with the Vikings. But, oh, man, I mean, we talk about this being a wood game. What about a gold game? How are you supposed to take that if you don't have water control here? There's gold available. There's relics available for Overtaken through the middle. It's like anytime you go fires, there's that threat of demos coming out, which becomes such a big problem. Does Overtaken know about this? He doesn't actually know about this castle. Well, Mihai's not finished. He's not finished yet. He's still got plenty of resources to work with. He still has the additional relics. You know, I consider Galleon to be quite close. Or let me rephrase this. I considered Galleon to be quite close to Elite Longboat before the change with Bogzavagar. I don't know now how close it is, but the numbers are close. And Elite Cannon Galleon's going to be in. So I think that's very nice for Mihai, assuming he can keep his Cannon Galleons alive. Freaking Overtaken, dude. This guy has no chill. He did it in game 1, too. No chill. He doesn't know what is here. He's not going to scout it. He's just going to drop a castle on the shoreline of his opponent and go in, man. It's very possible that this castle will not go up for him. But I love the energy. I love the heated shot upgrade, too, with all the castles around. And certainly, I don't think Mihai is taking this fight because he wants to. I think he's taking this fight because he feels he has to take it. Otherwise, things will get so much worse for him. The castle for Overtaken will go up. The demos kind of connect. This castle still stays up. And God, is it annoying right now to be Mihai. Because you just got so much pressure all the time. 22 galleons. There's 30 longboats with way more in queue. And now the Trebs spot this castle, and they can Treb that right down. I don't think we're that far removed from Overtaken than transporting to this area and dropping another castle. Or bringing his Trebs with him. Galleon count is, like, the galleon queue is decent. It's not horrible. This castle does go down. Overtaken's going to lose that. They both lost the castle. We have Galleon now for Overtaken. Now, something that I think both players should consider is removing Auto Farm. Auto Farm is not on for Overtaken. That would have been a conscious choice. What about Mihai? I don't even know where his mill is, honestly. If you see a mill, let me know. I don't know. There it is. He doesn't have Auto Farm on either. Big demos, big demos, big demos. The demos will get in close. There's Cannon Galleons in there. Cannon Galleons were in there. Overtaken. Good fight. He's going to mix in his own galleons here with the longboats, though. The Elite Cannon Galleons from Mihai done a lot of good for him here against those castles. Okay, here it comes. This is what we expected, right? The transport. He'll drop a castle, Treb a castle. Drop a castle, Treb a castle. That sounds good. That's a nice ring to it. Okay, so now Galleon's in the mix. How many kills do these Elite Cannon Galleons have? We've got 8. Feels like they're doing a bit more. The number's still pretty close. Overtaken refuses to chill. Mihai is not dead yet. Mihai needs this game, man. Guys, he needs this so badly. You can't go down 2-0 in a best of 5 here. It's going to make life so difficult for yourself. The Galleon count's really nice. You know, it's also easier. You don't have to think about a mix. It's just straight up Galleon all the time. Siege Ram now for Overtaken's pretty wild. You know, that reminds me of the old Islands meta from a decade ago where people would use Siege Rams on the shoreline. People would even bring in Siege Rams here. You're playing in like 400 ping. So it obviously helped to have a tank at that point. Guys, these Cannon Galleons, I think, are helping significantly in the fight. That castle needs to be canceled right now for Overtaken. I think Mihai can do this. Oh, God. Oh, God. The siege workshops are here. Oh, God. Oh, well, okay. I mean, you're not going to have a base pretty soon, Mihai. You better take some fights in the middle. Oh, wow. I didn't realize he landed the siege workshops. You can't stop that. You cannot stop siege rams. You just got villagers. But all of a sudden, hold on. Mihai going to drop a castle in the middle. Mihai can get some wood that he's very much running out of. Mihai can get some gold. Mihai has the navy. What is happening? Guys? Mihai has 50 galleons. You can make a couple condos maybe to deal with this. The relics for Overtaken are here. This castle will go up. No way. What in the world? He couldn't take his gold for so long. He was just saving it for later. Wow. This is incredible. And he can now he can load up the boys and girls and he can commit. Man, I mean, whatever we wanted to say about the Bob's Vinegar upgrade and longboats, the galleon mass has done incredible things. The siege ram play will do nothing. That's a waste of wood. That's waste of gold. Overtaken at the worst possible time is running out of resources as well. He needs to fight back. And I don't know if he can. There's just too many galleons out there. Is this shipwright paying off, maybe? Was Overtaken taking too many bad trades? I don't know. But we said Mihai needed the win. He's got 75 galleons, and those 6 cannon galleons, wherever they are, they're here. Again, I think they deserve a huge shout-out for what they did against all those castles and what they also have done against some of these ships. At the very least, they've weakened ships. Okay. Take that, Siege Workshop. That will go down. Big fight here. It's kind of difficult to oh, God. Trebs are here. It's kind of difficult to get a strong feel for how many galleons you have because they stack. This castle might go down, actually. Remember, 4 relics for Mihai, just 2 for Overtaken because he never got these back home. He never thought he'd have to. And this is the point in every Islands game that everyone expects where the resources are not really there. You need to conserve your mass if you can. But I think, like, I mean, the castle's going to go down. That's a pretty big deal. There's just too many galleons right now from Mihai. He's got 69 galleons on screen. There's only 32 for Overtaken. Mihai's going to win this game. Castle could maybe hold it temporarily, but there's going to be cannon galleons coming over here at some point. I think Overtaken recognizes, I am losing this. And he would have thought that he had this one. I think everyone thought that he had this one. Maybe it's too aggressive at times with castles. Maybe, taking too many fights when he wasn't fully popped. I'm not too sure. It's going to be something we talk about and break down later. But as the castle goes up, it goes directly down. And Mihai is going to tie up this series. What a comeback from Mihai. As his whole eco is basically transporting over to take wood and gold. But he's got the relic income. He's going to have the wood and gold. That is more than Overtaken's going to have available. And Overtaken will lose this. Yeah, Overtaken's just got like 10 trees left. 1,000 wood. But it's not that. It's gold. He doesn't have the gold to make 40 more galleons. He's not going to have the docks to make the galleons. He can't take engagements. Man, do you guys, normally you can look at it and say, pretty clearly what went wrong. I think that longboats possibly just didn't do enough compared to the galleons. I don't think I can be too critical of anything Overtaken did. I think the cost of demos and how demos work could have been part of it. Maybe a little too hasty with the demos, but I mean, he is trying to demo right now, actually. Now is the time for demos to try and connect. Oh! Okay, so that type of engagement can kind of help you. This is nice to kill some vills here too. But it is 9 galleons for Overtaken. He cannot win. It's over. This is game over. GG. Mihai wins. Mihai wins. Look at the difference in the galleon count. Now, that's tricky because I also don't have a toggle to know how many longboats were there. But Overtaken felt like he was going to take that one. And maybe he needed to simplify it a little bit more. I think that's the main thing to come back to. I think you need to simplify a little bit more. Just stick to the castles here. Don't drop forward castles in your opponent's island. And take as many of the resources here as you can. And make sure you're at 200 pop at all times. Also, something Mihai did a great job of is redocking. Like, he lost so many docks this game. And then he was able... He just constantly made more. His amount of army production was pretty credible there. Well played. Anyways, there's the res collected. 300, or sorry, that's the KD. 360 to 300. Res collected. Collected more wood, probably from chopping the wood in the middle. Gold counts very similar. You know, it was a close islands game. Shipwright. Such a huge tech there, and Mihai got it right away. Maybe he simply just saved more on everything when it comes to water because of that. But scores 1-1 here, guys, as these guys try and qualify for Hidden Cup 5. That was a great game. Also, the Cannon Galleon choice was just sick. I love that. All right, folks, here we are. Game 3 between these two next-gen players trying to make it into Hidden Cup. We've got Overtaken in the blue, playing as the Malians. We've got Mihai in the yellow still, playing as the Japanese. Now, for Overtaken's sake, let's hope that that game doesn't live in his head, right? I think, you know, if we were to interview him, he would say that he still should have won that previous game. He had such a nice position there, and it all fell apart. And momentum could be with Mihai now, because that was a pretty crazy one. We've got Cross. This map is all about scouting, folks. All about scouting and just balance between how you choose to, you know, be aggressive on land and water. It's a very deceiving map because typically I'm showing you the land, right? But the water matters a lot economically, so the amount of fishing ships that players have is the key there. Japanese good at keeping their fish alive because of the armor. Malians just spend less on wood with pretty much everything. So I think where Malians are strong is late feudal onwards. That's when you're spending wood on barracks, stable, range, blacksmith, market. All that being discounted is great. For now, though, the Japanese, having the cheap lumber camps and mills and mining camps, feels just as strong, if not a little bit stronger. So, we'll see. Peyton, thank you for the new sub. Pro Gamer, thank you for the new sub. Thank you, Sovereign. So, guys, question for you. If Mihai or Overtaken were to qualify, let's say they make the main event, what traits do they have, if any, that you would look for trying to guess them? If any. Let's say they do. One of them does. I'd say winner of this series has a solid shot. I'm going to give them a 25% chance, winner of this series. They obviously would have to win a lot more. They are good? Okay. Well, everyone's going to be good, so you can't say that. Overtaken castles, overtaken aggression. I like that. Really aggressive. I think in the context of the main event of Hidden Cup, if like Overtaken made it, it might be like super aggressive player that doesn't have as good economy. And then like maybe a player who loses first or second rounds because like obviously like a bigger name with more experience would be favored against them. Yeah, there's not a lot of stuff here with these guys that stands out to me. Because they're just super solid, right? They're super solid. But I agree. I think Overtaken's aggression would make him easier to spot. So we'll see. Keep in mind, anyone who makes it through from the qualifier, they've had a lot of like real-time practice. The invites, the 7 players already in the main event. Like they can be practicing, but there's no practice for the pressure you feel in a tournament, right? And then you add in the random seeding, the hidden aspect. It's like, you don't know who you're up against. You never played in the qualifier, never had practice on some of the maps anyways. Yeah, it's a completely different feeling. Overtaken looking for fish right now. Overtaken will find this dock most likely. He knows his opponent's TC is here, so I think he assumes the dock is here. Lots of reason to assume that. Yep, he'll know. Mihai found his opponent's dock a long time ago, so they both know. And, ooh, Villager is loomed. It looks like Overtaken thought the Villager maybe wasn't loomed. Mihai only deleted the walls because of loom being in. Could you talk about how Hidden Cup 5 Cross is different than Four Lakes? The main thing, as Overtaken has a potential to trap the scout here and almost does. Wow, that was something he'll live to regret, and I don't know what Mihai was doing there. Main difference is Cross came first. Four Lakes is like the, you know, the simplified named version for Age of Empires 2 DE. This is a community-made map made probably like 10 plus years ago, and it was always called Cross. So that's why I stick with the name Cross. Map-wise, is the neutral golds are split up differently. So instead of 2 3-tile neutral golds, we have 4 2-tile neutral golds. And then there is a bit less fish than the latter version, which means that land, you can't just live on one pond. Land matters a little bit more. That's the main thing. Nice micro there from Overtaken. He knew that TC was there. But did he know there were militia out of that barracks? I don't think he did. I think those militia are going to make it. Behind this, we've got the range transition for Overtaken, who's going greedy with fish in his original pond. Look at how they're fishing here. Fishing the side so they get vision on docks. Fishing the side. It was the same thing here. So they can get vision on docks. There's a villager coming, though, for Mihai. And it's going to be a stable behind this. Bit of an interesting one. I don't know if I love the idea of spending gold on militia and then not going to gold here. Because you can't make ships. That's really weird to me, especially if he's sneaking a vill. I don't think he's really thought it through. I think some aspects of this have been adapted. And nice scouting and awareness from Overtaken, who also researched Town Watch right away, guys. Whether or not that was because he got pop capped, which is why a lot of people do it, I don't know. But I think early Town Watch on this map is extremely underrated. You get so much more vision. It helps you make decisions. Everywhere, right? The shoreline, your base. This is... Sorry. This here is not walled. And this, you know, the scouts will possibly surprise Overtaken a little bit. Because anytime someone goes for a barracks opening with the Japanese, you're expecting a range opening. No, he scouted it before. Wow. That's actually insane. It's really good. But I also really like the walls here from Mihai. Mihai's villager is still trying to sneak. Still not on gold, though, which is odd. Here, though, villager on the right will fish. Still land engagements with just the militia distracting. And then on the left, we'll have some fish here as well for Overtaken. As he is now spear skirm rushing his opponent. Making life awkward here in the middle. So you can't actually dock here because of the reed. You would have to dock here. Where the fishing ship is currently sitting. We'll see if that ends up happening. Here's the new scout. Now, the new scout will find life difficult because the spears are out. So, micro needs to be really nice here. I mean, lots of pressure here on Mihai. It's an awkward army to fight against. It's not easy to micro this. He has microed it very nicely, though, but so has Overtaken to get to this position. And, like, you know, you'd think as the scout just goes down, and that's the type of thing that's going to happen here. You think with all this idle time, this has to be advantage Overtaken right now. Overtaken actually added a galley. You can patrol this. So if any dock potentially is going to be built here, it'll get denied. But, you know, not like there's been many losses here on land for Mihai. And Mihai has lots of fishing ships, too. I think this villager's been spotted, and the skirms are headed over there. Yeah, you could chop the reed and then build on top of it. You can basically get rid of it. But, you know, that's something you have to do, and... Again, he wasn't on gold for so long, so I don't think he could even make a fire galley on time. It's been a relatively passive cross game, as aggressive as this has been. I think Overtaken needs to shift back over here with this army and pressure the berries. That is an obvious area to pressure. I also think, though, that he needs to know about this. He absolutely needs to know about this. The fact that he doesn't, when he has the scout here, is definitely something to point out. We've got we've got spears, we've got skirms. We have market now from Overtaken. This is something we've seen from him every single game. Happy to use the market just to get up to the next stage a bit faster. But, I mean, think about the units right now that Overtaken's made. He's got 9 skirms. And then Mihai's got a stable. I think the stable could be amazing. Also, these skirms here, they're not going to kill anything. The scout will go deal with that. I think Mihai's okay. Res Collected should be really close right now, and it is, which you can see at the bottom left. There is a spear here, actually. And, I mean, for the love of God, Overtaken, bring your scout over, dude. He brings his scout over here, these villagers are probably dead. But he doesn't want to leave this area, and he's always, always trying to pressure. Crazy pressure. He is sending a Vil here, though, because he knows there's a dock on that side. He now kills the scout from Mihai. Mihai has 2 skirms. That's it. But we'll have resources to work with in the Castle Age. Where's the scout? This guy's a coward. I'm not fully understanding why the scout isn't here to attack this Vil. But one Vil did go down there. He just wants to... He refuses to leave, which I love. A lot of players leave. Like, I would be leaving to go, you know, get somewhere else. And he's just like, no. I have enough pressure on you right now. I have you exactly where I want you. Oh, man. Okay, big deal. Oh, he dock blocked it. Or he blocked it with the fishing ship, and now the dock's going up, and now it's you can't do anything about it with a fishing ship. I mean, great overall play here, right? Mihai thinks he knows I'm here now. I need to keep a close eye on it. Fish the shorefish, fish the shorefish. Blocked it temporarily, but now at least he can make war galleys. Now he knows that his fish could be disrupted. Like we said about this army, it's not really the strongest army up against knights. There are 4 spears. That's not that great. We've got a TC here for Overtaken. I believe there's an overchop in his woodline, but the TC makes that okay. Knights for him. War galley upgrade for him. Main reason for the war galley upgrade, obviously, is so he can disrupt his opponent here. He does not know that his opponent knows that he is here, and now he knows that his opponent knows. So I take that back. Mihai's been the more defensive player here. Mihai massing cav archers. Ooh, I love Japanese cav archers. I think that is a really nice play against just a couple knights from your opponent. Against the skirms, it's a bit awkward, but I think if you have the knights in the mix, this could be really strong. He's defended so far on water. And he's dropping TC number 2, and I think we're moments away from a full clear up of this little trash army, which, like we said, didn't really do too much. Here, Mihai's taking a good fight. Mihai with some momentum from the previous win. Nice split micro for Mihai. Has to take out the spears. I mean, the skirms are going to die eventually, right? You don't want to be losing cav archers to these skirms. A little sloppy here from Mihai, in all honesty. I think we've seen him take better fights, but he should clear up the skirms. He should be fine with the rest of the CA. Still does have to worry a little bit on water, though, because Overtaken has upgraded his ships. But I think cav archers scale super well in the long run. And the thing you would make against knight cav archer right now would probably be camel for Malians, but even that's not that easy. Also, this wood line is going to make passing through here awkward for either player. Mihai just soaked up the pressure super nicely. And now it seems like he's in his dream situation. And now he's the one knocking on the door. But he's not knocking on the door with Feudal Age Army. It's Castle Age Army. Okay, this will be potentially a full clear up here for Overtaken in a moment. He's got to manage the timing on that well. The best way to do this is you hop out with one fire, so the fire's from the enemy group, and then you demo them. And yeah, it's essentially what he did. He'll kill those fishing ships. That would be really good for him. Overtaken, pretty much walled as well. Lots of gold to work with. He's not going to be killed anytime soon. Ooh, did get a knight in here. The only person to kill economy in this game has been Overtaken. And he's going to kill more. This is where you need to transition away from the fish. So this is what I love about this. Again, someone asked about 4 lakes. 4 lakes, your fishing ships probably last you another 5-10 minutes. Depending on... I don't have the ladder version memorized at this point. But now, this... Like, you're out of fish. And so you're going to need either fish trap or something to keep those fishing ships active. I mean, fishing trap is the only thing you can do. But how are you going to have all that wood, right? So it's like you need to farm... But you need to fish. You need to fish trap. It's really tough to get that balance. And it's going to be the same thing here for Overtaken, right? Transitioning to farms feels the most natural. Wow, how has Overtaken not lost a villager here yet? And, yeah, he just really doesn't want that army to run through. And he's got scorpions in here chipping away here at the cav archers. Overtaken will have a pretty nice score now. And he'll have a pretty nice army count because of this, but that's still half his army. It's not great. It's always deceiving with score and whatnot when someone's got so many leftover ships in a pond. Zach Ward in chat says there's only one set today. That's not correct, but no one knows this if they didn't hear me say it earlier. We cast Daniel Slam after this. Daniel Slam is a big series after this. Sorry I didn't mention it more. They played Daniel Slam... got drawn against each other and played last night. No hesitation. They went for it. So we'll be casting those Rex. It's not on Liquipedia? Yeah, that's why I don't say check Liquipedia, my man. Liquipedia is run by humans who are flawed, but ever so slightly. The Liquipedia is obviously incredible. But I don't know. I passed that information along to my admins. I don't know if they passed it along to Liquipedia, so. Knights starting to be massed with scorpions. Actually, no upgrades on the knight. No armor, no bloodlines. That all needs to come in fast. Because you need to take engagements against the CA before the CA get up to like 25-30. That's where it gets really dangerous. Fish trappage. Fish trappage. Great timing on this. Wow. That's how you say it too, right? Trappage. What is mass fish trapping? But you have to say it in one word. Trapping? Nah. I think a good amount of fish trapping is trappage. We're coming up with that. Man, just now armor on the way. He may not realize he doesn't have bloodlines. Sometimes you built your stables already. You have them on a control group. You're creating units. Cav Archer's movement from Mihai has been really good. Neither player wanting to make a mistake here. And Overtaken running through the middle. There's bloodlines. Okay. Still, though, I mean, you really need +2 armor as well. You really need to have full upgrades against this many Cav Archers. And you have to be really careful. If you lose knights... I mean, your opponent might even make knights, and he has. Then the scorpions could be in trouble. But still, now the knights for Mihai. There's not many of them. And same deal with upgrades. And he doesn't end up killing a single scorpion there. And we'll see if Overtaken really starts to put his pedal to the metal here. You know, the Cav Archers for Mihai are split up from each other. They're not able to really engage against this right now. But I love the way the Cav Archers scale long-term here. So I think Mihai could plan for a defensive castle. I think a castle on this hill would feel great. A castle here would feel great, but it doesn't feel natural right now. And villagers to stone for the first time for Overtaken. So he hasn't been thinking about a castle at all. What a great game. I love this castle for Mihai. These guys are so good. It's crazy, right? Like, economically, it's better for Overtaken. Army count, I think it's better for Mihai. And even army type, right? Mihai is setting up his base in a way where it's extremely difficult for his opponent to find any realistic damage. And anytime his opponent goes to engage, he's going to have to think twice about it. And so maybe Imperial Age will just need to come in for both here then. And that's what Overtaken's thinking about, almost on cue. Got villagers on stone in 2 different spots. Stone back here and then stone on the front. And now Mihai maybe thinking about pushing out again. Ballistics will be in for him. I could have sworn I saw Thumb Ring, which is kind of rare, but I unfortunately don't have that up on the casting overlay. I could tell you if he stays in a fight if he has Thumb Ring, though. Right now, the way this fight's being taken is tricky. Yeah, I think he's got Thumb Ring now. Yeah, he's got Thumb Ring. Imp is on the way for Overtaken, and he just hopes he can get this TC up right now. Like, he doesn't want anything to do with engagements here until Imp. Wow, dropping TCs defensively. Interesting. Well, protects the wood. This protects the stone. Oh, the timing on this. Mihai had a chance. Interesting TCs. I like that. And then you just mass knights and you hope for crazy amounts of cavalier in the next stage. Stone walls for Mihai. This is what it means to him. Super smart play. You don't want cav running around and raiding you. And that's precisely what's going to be the plan for the enemy. So, having said all that, Overtaken, he's being overtaken right now, right? So he's going to try and raid somewhere else. And if he can go this way, you could maybe get through. But the walls are coming up, and the walls are probably going to complete. Overtaken is really, really distracted, repairing scorpions right now. But the TC got a kill. This TC got some kills. The scorpions got some kills. That's not bad. Oh, man. Can you stonewall all of this, though? Gate. Well, I mean, honestly, if Overtaken continued this way, he would have broken through there. 2 villagers would not be enough. Those gates are not strong enough. But Overtaken has different plans. Actually, think this castle can be denied. Mihai can see this because of the outposts. I think... Ooh, it's like, do you want to delete the walls? But you can kill a lot from the other side of the wall. Oh, man. This is what Vision does for you. I think this castle gets denied. He deletes one piece, and he just sits there. And now, Overtaken can't engage before Imp upgrades. This castle does not go up. Wow. And you're already 40% of the way up with that castle. You don't really want to delete it and lose some stone. That's huge. I think he just waits, right? His opponent's not Imp yet. So he just waits till he has the upgrades, and then he goes back to complete it. Halb needs to be the next plan here for Mihai. He's dropping the barracks. Halb, Cav Archer, Malians don't have much against it. And the Cav Archers are terrified. They will back away. And Mihai, don't let him in. Okay. A couple Cav Archers stay over here. Yeah, now you're an Imp. You have all this armor. You have all this attack. You want to attack, but you can't really do so easily. This would be the angle to attack from, and Mihai's got it locked down. He's got monks waiting. I love what he did with the stone walls. Obviously, this large wood wall in the middle definitely has helped him envision that possibility. But so many players wouldn't do that, man. And they should be doing it. 3 monks and 3 conversions. Sick. Sick engagement there for Mihai right before he's in Imp. And he's just going to create choke points. So the Cav Archers can continue to rain down arrows on the enemy. He has upgrades coming in for infantry and for the Cav Archers. And we've got Farimba now for Overtaken. Overtaken will have that +7 attack. But he can't get in. He can't do damage. Not yet, anyways. Oh, boy. Ooh, castle. That's why that castle's important. He will be through there. And Mihai knows it. Dude, these guys they have it locked down. Look at that. And by the way, in case you didn't pick up on it, Overtaken's almost a 200 pop. Crazy. He's going to drop a castle on this hill to protect some gold and stone. Definitely an argument to delete these fires at this point. If you think about it, that's 5 pop you could have on land. What about Onager here, guys? Cavalier Onager. You never see it on an open map. I feel like it would actually be a really good choice for Overtaken. These Cavalier are diving in. No Halb upgrade yet for Mihai. Cav Archer mass is ridiculous, though. Sorry, he did just complete the Halb upgrade. Cavalier looking to get through. The hole from earlier! The hole from earlier! Oh, that's going to be so annoying. Oh, man. Overtaken's going to notice this, and he could send the rest of the Cav through, right? He should. It doesn't look like he noticed. Mihai noticed. Mihai definitely noticed. He's sending Vils. There's also the main fight to worry about. Could have been worse. Cavalier's gonna head this way to try and stop it. There's also still the main engagement where there's gonna be cannons soon. Overtaken's pop capped. Overtaken 150 eco. Mihai walls that. Mihai can convert this Cavalier. Oh, they're so distracted right now. Walls continue. Overtaken once through. He can click the Cavalier through. You can't stop this army right now if you're Overtaken. 60 army against 30. So, guys, this is kind of I think this is something that I struggle with, that Overtaken's struggling with now. When you look at your population in game, it doesn't show fishing ships in the count. Or, sorry, like, it doesn't show it in your villager count. So he says, I'm at 153 vills. That's fine. But then he also has 13 fishing ships. So it's really hard. He is eliminating some eco right now. But sometimes it's easy when you have fish eco and land eco. And I always have the same issue with trade in team games. To really know. But maybe he picked up on it because he was pop capped and he doesn't have enough army here. But I just think, how are you supposed to get an army to compete with this? Japanese CA Halb is insane against most civs, but particularly Malians, which have pretty weak skirms. Petards are going to need to save the day here. Does he see this? If you looked hard enough, you could see that Petard if you're Mihai. He's getting fortified wall. I think he knows. What a sick decision from Mihai. Fortified wall is an epic choice. And the Halb will shred through this. The Cav Archers are ridiculous. And if this castle goes down, I think Overtaken has no way to hold. There's so much golden stone here. Bombard cannons are not it against the Cav Archers, as you can see there. He's just trying his best to use the bombard cannons against the Trebs. It's not going to happen. Petards must have worked or something. I completely missed it. The Cavalier are through. But still, Mihai is kind of okay. He's got exposed eco here, which could be raided. But I think Overtaken is only looking here because of the amount of intensity to this moment. And the Cav Archers and the Halbs are going to be fully upgraded soon. I guess Parthian Tactics was missing. Crazy that Mihai's been able to upgrade 2 different types of units. And Mihai, who lost the first game, who maybe should have lost the second, is possibly moments away from being up 2-1, which would be insane. Crazy how intense this series has been. And crazy that might be the case. You know, straight Cavalier is just so expensive. And, you know, the Malians have Siege, which is possibly too slow to get into. Otherwise, they have their infantry. And while you do have the high pierce armor on the infantry, and a lot of people love the Malian champions, it's a heavy Cav Archer. They're doing 11 damage. So the Malian pierce armor, I think, is 8. So they're mobile. They still do a lot of damage per hit. Champion would not work. Certainly not at this stage. It would not work. Japanese square up very nicely against the Malians in late game. And then, like, let's say the champions work. Then the Japanese can go for Samurai out of their castles. And Samurai is the superior infantry unit. Mihai gets the job done. And like I said, it's crazy. He loses the first game. Overtaken has a big lead in the second. And then can't close it out. Mihai ties at 1-1. Now Mihai is up 2-1 and Overtaken's going to have to turn this around. What a crazy series so far. It was incredibly close. Capture Age bugged out on me there. But it just felt like at the start of Castle Age, Mihai said, we're relatively even. I'm making Cav Archers. I'm okay. Right? He was in no massive rush to make any like crazy decisions or try and kill, because I think the longer the game goes, the better it is for him. What I think was amazing, though, is the timing advantage was there for the opponent. Timing advantage to Imp, 2 minutes. That's enough for the Cavalier to do something before Halba's in. And those stone walls from Mihai completely saved him there. Like, Overtaken's castle was awkward because of the stone walls. Without the walls, the Cav archers would have maybe backed away. Engaging against this whole area, which is supposed to be exposed, awkward because of the stone walls. Engaging through here. There was always a choke point, and that is not something that I would normally associate with Mihai. That tells me he really completed these tiny aspects to his game, has really expanded his thinking. That was so smart. And like we said, he's up 2-1. He did not collect as many resources. It was 64,000 resources collected there for Overtaken. He actually collected more of every resource, but he just couldn't find an army type to engage against that. That's why I said maybe like onagers on the hill, 2 to 3 onagers, maybe could have worked out, but easier said than done. I think there's reasons against it too. It's tricky. So they've wasted no time getting into these games. We have Overtaken now with the Saracens, and this is his home map, Slopes. So we see Slopes for the first time in the second round, which is a stupid statement because every map in this series has been the first time in the second round because this is the first series in the second round. But anyways, and we got Franks for Mihai, and this could be a very scout-heavy map. So Franks feel perfect. Saracens, though, they're such a good counter civilization in some ways, right? You have the archers, you have the camels. Franks actually struggle against that combination specifically. With Franks, it's like if the knights aren't working, it better be pikes. And so in some situations, if your opponent has strong camels, you hope that they don't have good... what am I thinking of? Good archers, right? So, like, let's say Hindustanis, as another example. Hindustanis don't really have strong archers. So, there you can go knight pikemen as the Franks in theory, and that can work. But Saracens have fully upgraded archers, and their camels are also really tanky. So, this is one of the maps that, one of the masterpieces I wrote up on Paint years ago. And kind of the thinking was I wanted players to have options, which is a lot of the Hidden Cup maps. And there's going to be pros and cons, right? So you have the sides. Now, I think it's going to be very rare for people to actually take the risk to mill this the higher the level gets. No one wants to have villagers up on the hill far away from their base for the opponent to find and kill, right? So I think what we're seeing right now is something that's going to be really common. They just push the deer and get what they can, and then not leave themselves exposed for, things later on. But, long term, the wood is here. It's pretty easy to stay safe here if you get a TC, and you've got a stone on one side, and you've got a gold on the other. Now, it's always consistent in how it works, so it's never like both resources on the same side. It's always separate. So it feels natural, I think, to expand to the sides, but also there's lots of stone and gold scattered throughout the middle, and it's also very open in the middle. So you go to the side, you go to the middle, it's pretty much both. So I also think balance is in a better state for this map than it was in previous Hidden Cups, right? Black Acre remembers the Indians and their villager on shorefish bonus was just like ridiculous. We also had different civ settings then too, so it was complete free pick. So we had a lot of like Indians v Indians on this map. So here we've got a little bit more counterplay and whatnot. Is Overtaken Kingston? No, Overtaken is not Kingston. Overtaken is Overtaken, and Kingston is Kingston. Kingston will be in the second rounds. He did win his first rounds, but they are completely different players from completely different countries. And I would argue, in some ways, completely different preferences on how they like to play the game. But I'll cast Kingston at some point. Is Overtaken overtaking the tournament? He is being overtaken right now. So, but we'll see if he ties it up. It could easily be a possibility here. So, interesting that We don't actually have a mill at all for Overtaken. He went lumber camp, mining camp for his buildings. So this indicates archers. And archer opening with the Saracens is not that surprising. But how fast he's going to do it here on a pretty food-heavy map could be seen as a bit of a surprise. Overtaken finds the opponent's base. Position is somewhat fixed on this map. You will know they are in the center of the slopes. So that, I think, is another reason why we might see a bit more in the way of deer pushing, just because they don't need the scouting intel as much. But you do need to know what your opponent's opening with, where they are. And there's the range for Overtaken. And that is not something that Mihai has seen yet. That uptime's insane for Overtaken. That is crazy. Still able to afford double bid-axe as well. Mihai running through. Sees the range, gets the intel. So he might be thinking about dropping an archer range soon. The timing on that's really tricky. You want to make scouts offensively, but then you might need some skirms as well. Still wouldn't mind if you take full map control at any point to see a mill dropped here. But I think with Franks, you've got the cheap farms. We won't see that. Frank's food eco feels so good here, though, right? You've got the berry bonus, and then you have the farm upgrade for free. Thank you, Glawar. A name I can't pronounce, who is subscribed for 11 months. Perkernical. Norpa, over 9,000. Thanks for the 18. Hope you enjoy the new badge. Thank you, Takara. Thank you, Sams. Thank you, guys. Finally got around to deleting the Facebook account I made to watch you when you streamed there, T90. You're welcome, I guess. Thanks for being there, but yeah, quite a few people said they did the same. All right, so 1 spearman, 2 archers. There will definitely be another spearman on the way. And when you have that clean food eco, you'd always prefer to have the walls down before this type of stuff gets in. Because if you can get the walls down, then you can delay some of the other investment into army. He actually went to gold really early. He wants to go scout archer, not scout skirm. Interesting. Wondering what the downside to that is. You're investing, you're later, much later to the farms. Because you are investing into the mining camp. Also, you're going to have more villagers on gold, less villagers on food. You could pretty much just use, like, food wood for scout skirm, right? There's a hole here. There's a hole here. There's a hole here. There's a hole here. There's a hole. In the wood line, there's no longer a hole. There might be an overchop here, though. He seems to sense that there's an overchop. That tree has 11 wood on it. Okay. Walls come up for the Frank player here, and pretty solid stuff from both. I just, like, feel like every time I play Saracens, I try and do what Overtaken's doing here, and I can't seem to get the balance right with the market. So my gut right now is that this is better for Mihai, but that could just be because I suck. You want to use the market, but sometimes you rely on it too heavily, and then your eco is kind of in shambles when you make it to the next stage. Sells the stone, buys some food, goes for fletching. I think Overtaken will have been surprised to see his opponent had archers, though. He's definitely maybe prepping himself to have to go into scouts against skirmishers. Now he probably won't do that. Whoever did your Hidden Cup 5 logo deserves a raise. Don't say that. Don't say that. We're already well beyond whatever budget I should have had for this. Don't say that. I think I paid more than I should have for this artwork. It is incredible. It is incredible. I agree. I really like the logo. I mentioned it earlier. We'll have obviously crazy overlays and things set up for the main event. For now, for the qualies, we'll just have the logo up to get people excited. 1 kill in this game, guys. Just 1 kill. And in the archer battle, at least numbers-wise, it's very even here. Now, you're going to have to send new archers forward if you're Overtaken, which will not be easy when there's scouts on the prowl, and that's hard to get right. Like right there. He kept that archer in his range because he knew those scouts were coming over. Nico's looking pretty good. Oh, Mihai's been over here for some time. I like that. But if that gets scouted, dude, this is what I mean. If that gets scouted, it could be brutal. Overtaken doesn't think that's even a possibility here. I wonder if he'd even cancel the tower. Is that too crazy? I think that's too crazy. Overtaken wants to engage. Overtaken will kill the skirm. He will kill the skirm. Engaging here. The tower forced on that side area is a bit awkward here for Mihai. Mihai still attacking. Overtaken had to quick wall there, which is insane. In the end, I don't think this tower is huge. Is that like crazy game changing? It can actually be helpful later on. And that food income can make a difference in castle age time. And the amount of skirms he's made. He's also invested more food. He went into armor here. I guess actually no, Overtaken's done the same. Scouts, can they break through? Overtaken has to be careful. Gets the repairs down. And then both players are going to lose all their archers. I think that's a fight that's pretty good, though, for the Frank player. You don't want the Saracens to have archers. We established this. But the resources from Overtaken somehow looking better to go Castle Age. Well, he didn't make any scouts. He didn't make any skirms, right? These two archers are dead men walking. And he refuses to accept it. He goes down. Another archer range for Overtaken. So no stable for him. He has Castle Age in queue, and he will go for the full walls. Pretty crazy how he's played so open, but he's just such an aggressive player. I think he should be fine to defend for this. These two skirms are going to be annoying, but it's not like it's 5 or 6. He can get a decent archer mass here. These scouts are all fairly weak. Mihai will have to be... I mean, I just have so much respect for Overtaken's micro here. I think Mihai will have to be fairly creative to be able to do too much economic damage here. So if you make it all the way to the best of 7 in the qualifier, then you... And such a good job for Mihai to be a pain. If you make it all the way to the second qualifier, and then you lose, you have a second chance. You have the follow-up best of 7. I'll explain that in the bracket in a moment for those that are unsure on what that means. But if you lose second round, third round, this is obviously the second round, you are done. You are just not in Hidden Cup 5. There's no official full bracket second qualifier. This is what I mean. Like, if this is a players that maybe lost in the first rounds, Mihai's able to really do a lot more in terms of the kills. But it does seem like Overtaken will defend from this. That's good work from both players, though, and that's not bad for Mihai at all. He's got lots of time for himself now. What's tricky is he's up against Saracen archers, and he's Franks making his own archers. And Saracens really, like, feel great in that regard in Castle Age, but in the long run, and that's not the case for the Franks. We are going to have Cav Archer. Crossbow, Cav Archer, Camel. Interesting. Well, only going to be 9 crossbows for Overtaken. Cav Archer switch is kind of exciting. More Cav Archers. Let's go. 4 scouts. Should kill a villager if it's just the 4 scouts. Villager's going to die. First villager dies. Well played, Mihai. Super, super stubborn. Really making Overtaken pay for not walling up at all. But of course, Overtaken sends like nothing back here. He's like, I will send everything forward to your base. Well, actually, that's not true. He's going to send a camel back. And that is going to be another dead vill. It is. 6 snipes. Now, on the left side, Mihai has house walled, walled everything. Because he knows how scary it is. The right side, he's vulnerable. And he is very fortunate. Because Overtaken is going to go to the left side. And what does he do because of that? Well, it looks to me like he's going to go forward to Overtaken's base. Siege Workshop from Overtaken will go up in the middle. Also, welcome to everyone who's realizing on my... soon my 3-month anniversary of being back on Twitch that I'm back on Twitch. Glad you guys paid attention to my videos. And my tweets. And, you know, all the time and investment and energy we put into the whole announcement. No, I'm kidding. Glad you found me. And camels head this way. They knew there'd be villagers over here, and they are correct. But Mihai will wall in the vills. Really clean play. And now these crossbows have been found. Dang, man. Mihai's in a great spot economically. Keep in mind, a lot of this eco for this... A lot of what Overtaken has achieved here is largely because of the market, right? Mihai probably can't believe he's here himself. No, he's got to have belief in himself. But I just am thinking about the series still. The fact that, like, Game 2, Overtaken should have won. Mihai takes that. Mihai takes game number 3. And now Mihai, looking pretty breezy right now here in game number 4. But he does not know about the siege. He doesn't know about the Cav Archer choice either. And now he knows about the siege. He split micros. Nice attack round there from Overtaken. But this is the confidence that Mihai has. This should be a counter unit that should strike fear into your heart and your soul and your mind. It did not, but here villagers are exposed. Nice find there from Overtaken. Beautiful job. Kills the villagers and makes Mihai pay. That will even out the KD with the vills. Assuming this villager dies. No way, dude. Wow. Wait. Okay, she's dead. They're such nerds. Pretty sick, man. Cav Archers, no bloodlines yet. They're very vulnerable here. And Ballistics is already in here for Mihai. So, no, Ballistics crossbows should be great against the Cav Archers. If the Cav Archers don't have bloodlines. Bloodlines is now on the way. Okay, Siege could be a problem, though. So you need to hope that you can separate these Cav Archers from the Mangonels. That's your hope. Also, you're going to regret... Oh, big moment. Split micro coming. He just needs to fire. Split. Beautiful split. Beautiful split. You can expect it with this guy. You just know. At this level, it's going to happen. He waited until his opponent fired to split. That's beautiful. And that's huge, right? Because that now is... I mean, this villager who's coming forward to maybe repair this one's going to get picked off. And now you'll notice that Overtaken's tempted to separate his CA from his Mangonel. He doesn't do it, though. And it's good he didn't, because Mihai's coming in with knights, and he's going to sacrifice all these knights to hope to kill this Mangonel here. If he does, without losing crossbows, this could be great. He splits again. He gets the clear up. This is beautiful for Mihai. Mihai is playing incredibly well. The crossbow count is great. And sure, he's the Franks, but he's taking beautiful trades. Siege is not cheap. It's an investment that usually needs to snowball. And behind this... the economy's always been superior for Mihai. He's collected 1,000 more resources. He's going to expand to the left-hand side just in case the going gets rough in the middle. And Saracens, having the options to beat the Franks, not enough. If the economy is this good and the gameplay is this good from Mihai. And Mihai's playing really good right now. And, you know, I struggled to see the way back if this Mangonel goes down. You need this to get a shot for you. Oh, this hurts so much for Overtaken. Overtaken. Big shot. Nope. Can't get it off in time. Loses another one. And imagine if he had all three, right? Everything had stayed together. And then he's just pushing this TC. I saw this TC and I thought, danger. There'd be siege on top of the hill. It'd be very hard to engage. But now... it's going to have to be defensive siege. And I wouldn't surprise me if Mihai with this position even goes for TC number 4. Like, eventually you need to switch out of crossbows. That's the thing that's scary right now is that crossbows do not get better for you in the long run if you're Mihai. And then if you lose them to one big shot, your opponent has camel against your knights. Your opponent has so many different things. Look at him lurk, waiting for the siege. He sees it. He knows about it. Now there, the siege will stay up. He needs to back away. Nice attack round from Overtaken. 2 on stone right now for Mihai. I wouldn't mind that being more. I wouldn't mind that being like 5. And then you can plan for a castle here. Outposting through the middle. The level we're seeing here from this guy is insane right now, guys. And make no question of it, it's been amazing from Overtaken as well. And had he won game number 2, we're talking about a potential game 5 with how breezy things are looking right now for Mihai's economy. But fortunately, Overtaken, he's going to have to find a way to take engagements fast. And as, you know, now Mihai able to plan for life without crossbow. Or plan to include the crossbows with +2 armored knights. Dropping more stables. Knights are on the way. His economy is so good. Overtaken with ballistics now for these cav archers. Just 13 cav archers. Well, now it's 12. Split micro from Overtaken to get away from the ballistic shots. But the tower! The tower gets the kill. 3 TCs for Overtaken. Ballistics soon as well. These cav archers will be much stronger. I'm not sure he has enough of them right now. I think he'd need a few more to deal with what Mihai has. Mihai, 3 town centers. And just a little cav archer raid here. That's not going to do too much to him. And oh god. Oh god. Okay, so Overtaken knows he's behind, right? He knows he's behind. And he feels like now that he's got ballistics... And, you know, Frank Crossbows being Frank Crossbows and all that. And he's going to have more siege. That if he gets this castle done, it gives him a shot. He doesn't know how bad this is about to be. He doesn't know his opponent has +2 armored knights. Ah! This is going to be brutal. Mihai kills 1 cav archer. He kills 2 cav archer. And now the knights are here. The knights are enough to take this fight. And then clear out all the siege. It's a big shot, though, on the crossbows. But another split from Mihai avoids the next one. And Overtaken is just... He's going to be completely slaughtered right now. The economy, man, the army, he's just going to be completely overwhelmed by knights. On the right side, on the back, I mean, it's such a big deal. 4th TC. Mihai says, I'll add even more eco now. I'm under no pressure whatsoever. And it's like, what do you do? Now you've got cav archers chasing down knights in your eco. You still have crossbows you haven't killed. Your castle foundation is sitting there waiting. You told the owner of the land you'd be there soon. You haven't shown up. You're late. And, I mean, vision from Mihai on the sides now as he just makes sure he controls this gold area. Mihai has 2 relics. It could probably lead to more. Mihai has played this game amazing. So good. He cleared out the archers in feudal. He matched the archers. He actually outplayed with archer play with the Franks in castle. And his macro, guys, his economy has been crazy. Poor Overtaken. He continues to find a way to have one more shot at it, guys. He's like, okay, I'm still probably dead if it stays like this. Let's go imp now. So he's still trying to find his way back into it. And every time it's been like that. The Siege Edition was like that. You know, now the Imp is the perfect example of it, but he's going to lose so much. He has lost so much. He's so far behind already, and he's just completely surrounded. This is not a map where you can just sit back with no army and somehow get away with it. And Mihai, who's gotten more value from Frank crossbows than you would ever have expected when the game started, has Overtaken off of basically every resource. It's crazy. And Overtaken's done some sneaky stuff, too. It's just Mihai always expects it. Villagers here. They're trapped. Crossbows will try and get a kill before death. Of course he gets one. Mihai now cancels Vil production for a bit. Stalled the snipe production so he could click up to Imp. The only thing I'd say is just that there aren't defensive castles everywhere from the Franks yet. That's really just the final nail in the coffin. To protect your economy from this Imp, which could be a threat, right? You need to have castles. The castle's here, castle here, you know, but he's just transferred Mortarstone. He's not that far away from it. And it's going to be just 12 cav archers for Overtaken. I don't think he it's easy to say he underproduced Cav Archers, but that's really not it. He just didn't really have the resources to go around, right? And I think that's the cutting of the corners that the Saracens do. I do also wonder, like, if you can't get to a big, massive CA, should you go CA? Maybe you stay on crossbow. I think staying on crossbow is more than fine. And you don't need to invest quite as much to make each one. Here comes the castle from the Kingslayer, who wants to go into the third round. And he might be the favorite in that third round of the qualifier as well, based on how he's played here. He's going to drop a castle forward to take that gold. He takes the fight before imp upgrades. He forces the engagement. Bracer comes in, but that's Bracer for less than 10 Cav Archers here. And Mihai is going to win this series 3-1. It was a crazy series. Probably a series that Overtaken's gonna is gonna be haunted by because of that Islands game. But the best players, they find ways to stay alive in situations where maybe they should not be alive. And that's what Mihai did there. And Mihai wins with 3 straight victories. A crazy performance from him. And guys, you can just see the improvement from him if you followed his career. He's gotten so good over the last year or two. In the NAC qualifier, he beat a player like MBL, for example. And in this qualifier, we'll look at the bracket here in a second. Could definitely see Mihai having a solid shot at qualifying and being in the top 16 and one of the main players in Hidden Cup 5. Overtaken? Well, I said it already. That Islands game. I think this game, it happens. Who knows what game number 5 Civilization would be, what the map was. Islands game is definitely one he's going to want back. Bit of a shame for Overtaken fans because I think he was so close to taking it to a game 5 and then maybe he would have won the whole thing. But it's just, Mihai had this level of consistency that was really strong the last few games. Look at the economy difference. Woo, man. 41k resources versus 30k. Ridiculous economy, man. He made it look so easy. That is not a matchup that should look that easy. I don't know how he did it, man.